solidification, condensation, and we discuss about the few physical quantities such as latent heat of fusion. As you know, the latent heat of fusion is the amount of heat required to convert a solid into liquid at its melting point. It's the amount of heat required to change a solid into liquid at its melting point. So when it reaches the melting point, how much heat further it needs, it's called its latent heat. Similarly, when we are want to change the liquid into gas, so latent heat of vaporization is the amount of heat required to change a liquid into gas at its boiling points. So first the liquid has to reach its boiling point and then it has to change into gas. So at that stage, how much heat is required? That is the latent heat. Another term we considered as a specific latent heat of fusion. In case of specific heat, we standardize the latent heat and for the different substances as well. So in case of specific latent heat of fusion, it is the amount of heat required to change 1 kg of a substance, a particular substance, into liquid at its melting point. And the formula for it is where Q is the amount of heat required, M is the mass of the substance, and LF is the specific latent heat of fusion. LF stands for specific latent heat of fusion. Similarly, specific latent heat of vaporization is the amount of heat required to change 1 kg of a liquid into gas, into steam at its boiling point. And the formula for it is Q is equal to M into LV. So there is no difference in the two formulas. The only difference is the subscript LF and LV, F and V. So LV is the specific latent heat of vaporization. Heat capacity is the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of a body by 1 degree. Is the amount of heat required to change the temperature or to raise the temperature of a body by 1 degree. So formula for it is C is equal to Q over delta theta, where Q is the amount of heat required, C is the symbol for the heat capacity, and delta theta is the change in temperature. Specific heat capacity is the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 kg of a substance, by 1 degree C or 1 Kelvin. So formula for the specific heat capacity is C is equal to Q over M delta theta. Unit for heat capacity is joules per degree C. And unit for the specific heat capacity is joules per kilogram C. Or we can also say joule per kilogram K. Here the K stands for the Kelvin, that is a unit of temperature. Celsius is also a unit of temperature and Kelvin is also a unit of temperature. When to change liquid into solid, we have to supply heat. To change liquid into gas, we have to supply heat. But to change gas into liquid, we have to extract heat. Now, latent heat of vaporization is needed to change liquid into gas. But to change gas back into liquid, we have to extract the same amount of heat. Latent heat of vaporization we have to extract from the gas to change it into liquid, and this process is called condensation. So we are condensing the gas into liquid by cooling it. Cooling means we are extracting heat from the gas. So how much heat we have to extract? That is the latent heat of vaporization. The heat that we supplied to the liquid to change into gas, now we have to extract that heat to change it into liquid, and that process is called condensation. Now to change liquid into solid, while changing solid into liquid, we supplied latent heat of fusion. Now to change liquid into solid, we have to cool it. We have to extract the latent heat of fusion from the liquid to solidify it. So this process is called solidification. So changing solid into liquid was melting, and changing liquid into solid is solidification. While melting, we supplied heat. While solidification, we extract heat. And how much heat we extract? That is the latent heat of fusion. How much heat we supply is the latent heat of fusion. To change liquid into gas is called boiling. And to change gas into liquid is called condensation. And in both cases, in case of liquid to gas, we have to supply heat. That is the latent heat of vaporization. And to condense it, we have to extract. We have to cool the gas to change into liquid. There is another process by which the liquid changes into gas. Boiling actually takes place at the boiling point, and it is the maximum rate of change from liquid to gas, or you can say the maximum rate of evaporation. At the boiling point, the liquid changes into gas at a maximum rate. The maximum liquids molecules are leaving the surface, changing into gas. But evaporation is a process that takes place at any stage. If you leave some water in a saucer overnight, the water will evaporate. Even if you place it in the sun, it evaporates faster. So the liquid disappears and it changes into vapors. Why is it changing into vapors? Because highly energetic molecules in the liquid, when they reach the surface, they leave the surface. In evaporation, what happens? In a liquid, molecules are in continuous random motion. During their motion, they move randomly within the liquid and they possesses different amount of kinetic energy. The different molecules have different amount of kinetic energy. But highly energetic molecule, when reaches the surface, it leaves the surface. During evaporation, highly energetic, the molecules which possesses large amount of kinetic energy, when they reach the surface, they leave the surface by breaking the intermolecular forces and goes into the air. Now these molecules which leave the surface are highly energetic, leaving behind the less energetic molecules. Highly energetic molecules leave the surface by breaking the intermolecular forces and leaving behind the less energetic molecules. That is why, first of all, the mass of the liquid decreases because the molecules are leaving the surface and changing into gas. Secondly, the molecules left behind are less energetic, due to which the temperature of the liquid falls. It cools. The liquid cools due to evaporation. Why it is cooling? Because the highly energetic molecules are leaving and the molecules which are left in the liquid are less energetic. So as I defined the temperature, it is the average kinetic energy of the molecules. So on average, the kinetic energy of the molecules of the liquid falls. That's why the liquid cools. So during evaporation, what is happening? Highly energetic molecules are leaving the surface, leaving behind less energetic molecules. So due to which the temperature of the liquid falls. Evaporation takes place at any temperature, whereas the boiling takes place only at a boiling point. Evaporation takes place only at the surface, whereas the boiling takes place throughout the liquid, because in case of boiling we are supplying heat from the bottom, so the highly energetic molecules gain energy from the bottom and rise towards the surface and leave the surface. And during evaporation the cooling takes place, and whereas in boiling the temperature of the liquid remains constant. During boiling the temperature of the liquid does not change because we are continuously supplying heat, and highly energetic molecules which has energy, on average they highly energetic molecule leave the surface. So the temperature of the liquid does not change. The boiling temperature it is maintained. The liquid, if it is water, the temperature of the boiling temperature of the water is 100 degree. So water keeps on boiling at 100 degree. So energy molecules which possesses more energy, they keeps on leaving and cooling the liquid, but the heat supplied from the bottom maintain the temperature. So during boiling the temperature remains constant. During evaporation the liquid cools. Boiling takes place anywhere in the liquid, whereas the evaporation takes place only at the surface. Rate of evaporation depends on few factors. One is the wind speed. If wind blowing over the surface of the liquid has a higher speed, it will blow these molecules away. What happens when another molecule comes out of the liquid? It may join the molecule present above the surface. When they get together, 2 or 3 molecules, they become heavy enough to fall back. That will decrease the rate of evaporation. But if wind is blowing over the surface, it will blow these molecules away. So the surface of the liquid is free of the molecules, so any molecules can escape easily. So when it escapes, it does not join or does not touches another molecule. So the wind speed increases the rate of evaporation. Secondly, liquid's temperature. If the temperature of the liquid is high, it means it possesses a large number of molecules with high kinetic energy. As we defined the temperature as the average kinetic energy of the molecules, if the temperature of liquid is high, then most of the molecules are highly energetic. So they can easily leave the surface. So the temperature of the liquid, if it is high, then the rate of evaporation is also high. Surrounding temperature. If surrounding temperature is high, even then the rate of evaporation is high, because the liquid absorbs heat from the surrounding. It will absorb heat from the surrounding. So it will absorb heat, and that heat will help the molecules to evaporate. So if the temperature of the surrounding means it is summer, in summer the water evaporate faster because the surrounding temperature is high. Moisture in air or dryness or wet weather. If the air in the surrounding is wet, it means the air is also carrying lot of water. So if air is carrying a lot of wet water, it doesn't has capacity to carry these water molecules. So in that case, if the weather is wet or air is wet, is the moisture in the air is high, humidity is high, then the rate of evaporation is low. Rate of evaporation decreases because the air does not have a capacity to carry these molecules. So the factors on which the evaporation depends mostly is the wind speed. The wind speed, if increases, like if we turn on the fan and put a wet cloth under it, we can see that it dries up earlier. Why? The wind is blowing the moisture or the molecules evaporating from the cloth. If the temperature of the liquid is high, even then the rate of evaporation is high. If the temperature of the surrounding is high, the rate of evaporation is high. If the weather is wet, then the rate of evaporation is low. If the weather is dry, the rate of evaporation is high. There are a few more factors. You can read it from the book. So that's all from about the topic from my side. I'm going to share a worksheet with you people after a few minutes by rejoining the group. Okay, so please do not go away, just wait for the worksheet I'm going to share with you. Thank you. Close.